Hi, welcome into the Seek Capital Review. Today I'm going to show you how you can get between 10,000 to 150,000 in funding for your startup business with no time and no revenue being generated, as well as so much more. So stick with me until the very end of this video so you get all the juicy details on how to get the ball rolling, how to continue to build, grow, expand, and even get out of a tight pinch. Before I get started, my name is Michael from Viral Funding Solutions, and I come out with alternative funding content, all types of small business loans, and different opportunities for you to take advantage of online. So if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so. Click that bell notification icon so you do not miss any future videos I come out with. Let's get right into it. You're looking at the homepage here, and as we can see, financial solutions that are made easy, providing funding, financial services, and financial resources to one seeker at a time. So stick with me. I'll get into the startup part of this, but I wanted to show you the homepage from the beginning. Business funding to choose from, COVID government funding, personal loans, credit cards, and then credit repair, which is coming soon. So I'm going to just dive into these as much as I can if I don't get into them in too much specific detail. The rest of the information will be down below in the description, and I'll also be going thoroughly through some of these. So I've seen in Forbes, Business Insider, NBC, Fox 5, and Boston Herald, all-time approvals of 16,341 is the time I'm making this video, and approved funding for 100 million. How does it work? You choose the funding you need. They offer a variety of ways to secure funding for you, from revolving lines of credit to the COVID government funds. We've got you covered. Number two, apply in minutes. They've made applying for funding as easy as possible. You can apply through their website today and get a result in a matter of minutes, so you're not having to wait, when you're going through the traditional ways, or maybe you've tried a different route or you've seen other ways and you're like, I don't want to wait that long. It's really that simple. Get a dedicated agent. Once you've been approved for funding, you'll receive a dedicated agent. They will assist you and help you get your funds as fast as possible. So again, you do not have to continue to suffer, feel in this type of way. Like I know it is, I've been in your shoes and it's like, when am I getting my funds? Will I get approved? What's happening? And you're taking things day by day. You're not even thinking about them monthly anymore. You're like, what is happening today? Because I need to continue to move forward as fast as possible. Business funding, over 400 million funded for small business owners since 2015. It's free to apply. No collateral is required whatsoever. Apply in under 2 minutes. Startup businesses funded. For financials, no financials or tax returns, flexible payments options. Get funding now, and I'll show you how that works. But you can see a 4.9 out of 5 stars, 98% recommended. All credit types are welcomed. Reviews, a great company that has amazing and dedicated reps that really advocate for their clients. I highly recommend. Just going to move by here. I'm glad I chose Seek Capital. So said as a very personal account manager. What I love the most about Seek Capital is it keeps their world customer-centric approach. Highly recommended. Harry from Consumer Affairs from Google. Reps that really advocate for their clients. I highly recommend Seek Capital from David from Google. And you can see a few more. One of them from Trustpilot. The team was very thorough in their operations, which I truly admired. My advisor, Kelly Arenas, was truly a delight to work with. She was patient, kind, and very diligent. I couldn't be more grateful to have her help. If you're new to credit card funding for your business, this is a company that would be a great way to start with, from Cesar or Caesar, Trustpilot. And compare credit cards, you can do that. COVID government funding. We've helped over 50 million to plus small business affected by the pandemic, employee retention credits, food and beverage grants, long-term government loans. You get live venue grants, easy application process, hassle-free. See if you can qualify in 2 minutes. So it's very fast. Again, 100K average funding, as you can see there, fast and easy application. Personal loans, borrow up to 50,000. Search the best loans. We can go through that. Credit repair coming soon. Awards, Inc. 5000 ranks number 171 on the inaugural 2020 Inc. 5000 series of California. America Banker, and then Glassdoor. You can see the rewards. Knowledge is power. We've partnered with people like National Business Capital, Lend Genius, Credit Suites, maybe you've heard of these, Top10.com, Oracle Financial Services, Credibility Capital. That list goes on and on. Consumer advocate, decisions made easy, and plenty more. So that's the homepage there. I just wanted to show you a full runaround of how that all works. And then we're going to get into the start of small business funding, because I'm sure you're coming down for that. But you see there's a page here that says best startup business loans of 2021, get between 5,000 and 500,000 funding for your business, specific types. So I'm going to get into that. Startup business funding, no financials or tax returns, and you can see a little bit of information. And you can compare the best startup business loan options here with things like the SBA startup loans with low interest rates and long terms. Business credit cards have low interest rates, speed of funding, and flexibility of funds. So if you were to click that button here, you would go through this, and they would match you up rated by lending tree. So they're going to pair you up with the types of services and the type of lenders you can go through potentially based upon those questions. Equipment financing, friends and family, angel investors, 401k rollover, and then there's crowdfunding as some of your options to seek there. So if we go over here to business funds and we go to short-term loans, 7 best short-term business loan options get funding between 5 and 500,000. Free to apply. A few more things in there as we kind of already went through. And we can go over here, click on startups, how to get a short-term business loan for startups. They're their own category. You may already know that if you are a startup or you were once one when it comes to obtaining the financing. The reason why you don't get funding to begin with is because you don't have any proven revenue and a bunch of other things too. But the lenders are unsure if you can make those payments back, what kind of history, if they look through FICO, personal, and even business credit scores to see what type of payments you're making, the debt to income ratio, are you making your payments on time, are there longer duration payments, they're outstanding, and maybe you're just pushing them out too far, what's happening. So how does it work? Seek Capital can provide both consulting services and funding procurement to startup businesses across America. Funding through sources like Seek Capital can often be achieved rapidly, with applications taking a matter of minutes and responses coming as quickly as a few hours. So for short-term financing needs, a Seek Capital consultant can work with you to determine the best financing options for your business. So that information will be down below if you're looking at it from a startup funding perspective. What are the rates? If you're a startup, you should be generally prepared to pay higher rates, especially for short-term business loans. And this can be the truth for even a long-term business loan. This isn't a personal judgment, it's just a risk-reward calculation. As your company doesn't have a long operating history, lenders have a harder time making an accurate assessment about your ability to repay back the loan. One advantage of working with a specialized lender or finance consulting company is that they can often work with newer companies to arrive at a flexible payment structure that compensates the lender for the risk taken, but isn't so onerous that the company has no chance of paying it off. Seek Capital, for example, can offer 0% introductory APR for many borrowers who do qualify with a variable rate thereafter. So if you don't have any revenue or time in business, so then the credit score, if it's a FICO credit score, then when we're looking at higher amounts, we're looking at like at least 680, above in those 600 ranges and plus, and that's very common. And there's other programs out there that actually require you to have that much, if not at least a 700 plus FICO. We can move the needle a little bit less, but some other companies often require a certain amount of revenue. If you're also doing a personal loan, for example, if we're talking about personal loans, then a startup could be a way to go, but many of them do require revenue being generated and the higher credit score. Are you eligible? Eligibility for any loan can be tricky for a startup company, but it is possible. So with some things like the higher credit score and understanding that you're making those payments on time and that credit worthiness. So also having a business plan together, if you haven't already gone through any of this, and I've said this before in different videos, coming up with a business plan that's very well structured. You understand the costs, the implications, what you need your funding for, what you expect, everything all laid out, detailed together. It's kind of like when you walk into any type of a business situation and you have to present something. You're buying a business or you want funding for that new business. Maybe you're in real estate financing, which, by the way, if you want to learn more about how to get funding for real estate, look down below in the description. There will be some information on what I recommend. But when you're asking for what are the rehab, renovations, what is it going to be the cost, ARV, all these things, it's kind of what we want to see in business plans. Companies like Seek Capital can often be more flexible about the financial situation of a startup company, which can improve your chances of obtaining a loan, regardless of the company you work with. However, you're only likely to qualify for a loan with good terms if you've got good credit and order. Again, comes back to that. At the end of the day, bankers respond to the numbers. And if you have a financial plan in black and white, it can help convince others of the future success of your business. So how much can you get? If you're looking to get a general loan for your startup business, you may be able to get as much larger loan amount than with an equipment specific loan, for example. At Seed Capital, borrowers can request financing up to $500,000, but the amount you're approved for depends on if you're a qualified borrower. However, it's typically easier to get approved for smaller funding amounts, so requesting an amount that will just cover the expenses to cover the you need may be a safer bet. So think about that. I deal with people like this on a daily basis. I may have already spoken to you, and you're like, well, I want a truck for, I'm in trucking. I want a $100,000 truck. All I want is a 20,000. Well, that equipment loan may be too much for that company, that underwriting team, those lenders to give you, specifically when it's a very high risk industry, one, and then two, it can be very seasonal. Three, it can deplete the funds. One truck blows out and you're left with nothing. You may have another one, but you have to think about these things when you're asking for too much. The chances of you getting approved, and it's not only with equipment in that industry, it can be with anything. So the financial prudent move when borrowing money from anyone is to only request an amount that you can realistically pay back. Of course, a loan is a loan, and the amount you get approved for will always depend on the factors such as your income and your personal credit history, documents, information about how you intend to use a short-term business loan, your personal credit report and your social security number, your startup business plan, including anticipated cash flow and future profit potential. What are the terms? Short-term business loans are a good option for startup companies because lenders often won't finance startups for longer-term loans. So don't expect you to get 3+ years. Even 2+ years can be a stretch, but that's more considered, it can still be considered short-term. So, from 0 to 24 months is more of a short-term solution. So think about that. So you can negotiate that. Companies with bad credits, you can also do. So in ways we can work around that here. But companies with bad credit can struggle to find a short-term business loan. The hallmarks of bad credit include taking on too much debt or failing to pay back loans in the past. Both of these are huge red flags for the lenders. Since the odds that you won't be able to pay back your short-term business loan are higher than with other borrowers, lenders will naturally shy away from you and your company with bad credit. Again, this comes back to the credit score, 100, 600 plus, 680 plus. In these scenarios, a high interest short-term loan might be the only option. So while you can get a business term loan, even longer ones, short-term for startup funding is the ideal way to go. And if you're eligible for certain other needs, how it works, and all that information will be down below in the description. So make sure you refer to that for anything. And we also have personal loans. So get between, again, 5,000 and 500,000. You can see your funding options there and how to get a personal loan for your business. And if we clicked on startups, for your startup, in one sense, a personal business loan is the perfect option for a startup company seeking financing. Why? Because startups are a special breed when it comes to corporate financing. Meaning what? It can be hard for a startup to get traditional business loans. And we're talking about even term loans, right? And losing, particularly with the large bricks and mortar banks aren't in the business of losing money. And the truth is that no matter how great your startup company is, statistically it is a high risk for a lender. However, it is not an impossible feat. Alternative personal loans are available for funding sources like Seek Business Capital that actually specialize in working with startup companies. How does it work? Relies on the credit history and the qualifications of individual applying rather than the business as a whole, depending on the situation. This can either be a plus or a minus. For startup companies, a personal loan can often be the only way to get a good small business loan, as a business with no credit or operating history can be hard to finance. Rates and offers a 0% introductory APR, certain loans with a variable thereafter. However, for a personal loan, you should expect the rate somewhere between 5.99% and 29.99%, depending on your creditworthiness. Are you eligible? Anyone can apply for a personal loan, so in that sense, anyone can be eligible. A sketchy individual credit history could prevent you from qualifying. Your personal credit history will determine your eligibility for a personal loan and the rate you'll get on it. Qualifying for a personal loan can be important for business looking to cover startup costs because other types of financing may be limited. Important factors, bear in mind how much can you get. The size of the personal loan you can get will depend directly on your ability to repay the loan, and a few other details in there, and documents, social security number, date of birth, and other personal information, credit reports, your intended use of the loan proceeds. Just a few more bits of information, but this will be down below in the description if you want to learn more about how all of it works. But you get business funds with equipment financing, invoice factoring you can use as well. Small business loans, SBA loans, restaurant loans, government funds. We'll click there and see very quickly. If you did that, you would go through this quick qualifier and answer a few questions. Let's come back here and how it works. get up to 33,000 per employee with no repayment required. It's free to apply in less than 2 minutes. Up to 33,000 per employee. There are no tax returns required. They take care of everything. There's no repayments required. So let's seek Capital's team navigate the complexities on this new program, handle the overwhelming paperwork. So a practical scenario, if you have 10 employees and qualify for the max of 33,000 per employee, you will receive 330,000 in direct payments from the federal government via the IRS. If you have 50 employees and qualify for the max of 14,000 per employee, you will receive 700,000 in direct payments from the federal government via the IRS. And so that's how that will work. I won't go into too much detail, but you can see there's a food and beverage grant. If you want to learn more about how to qualify for that, live venues grants, long-term government loans, and some FAQs. So great information to go through if you're looking at it from that perspective. We went through the personal loans more or less. Let's come back here so I can show you what we went through. How it works. This is a different part of the page. But credit cards, articles, and so much more. So this will all be down below again in the description, restaurant loans, and what you can qualify for, more information for you to seek so you can get specific funding for that. And there are other ways too. If you are restaurants or also in kind of like the healthcare industry and a few other ones out there, then you can seek through other options that I've already made content for down below in the description. If you're looking for non-startup funding options, let me quickly go through that here with small business loans, 5,000 to 500,000. Find the right small business loan for things like term loans and what you need to know about these and how to qualify for them. So a lot of this is going to connect you with it's similar to an online marketplace where it's going to connect you with different offers from different places and then those lenders. Kind of like a video I did not too long ago, well, some time ago, about a company named Lenza, sometimes like a Fundera, sometimes like a Lendio at times. But you can get a lot of information from them and just know how they work. And business term loans, if you're looking for longer terms, you just have to have higher qualifications, more revenue, 200,000, 300,000 plus per year. And then more time in business, years on in and other qualifications. And you might not even need that type of funding. But if you're looking for other types of funding with fast money when you don't need there's no interest rates, no collateral, no hard credit checks. And I recommend a company like David Allen Capital where you can get up to 2 million incredibly fast within a day of approval, funds deposited within a day or two, as much as a week, depending on your circumstances and your profile. But you can even get up to 25,000 same day instant approval with as little as a 450 plus FICO, 5,000 plus monthly in bank revenue coming in within each of the last 3 months, 6+ months in business. All industries are welcome. Payment history earns you more. Receive funds time and time again. Add-on funds are available. You get a personalized account manager to help you. So this will be down there below in the description if you want to learn more about David Allen Capital and their Bank Breezy program and everything else you need to know about getting funding for your startup, for all types of business loans and everything that come through. But hopefully you got value out of this video. If you still need help and you want to understand more about how to do things like finding the best credit cards and how to apply for them and what you're looking at on screen here, as much more, leave me a comment, go through the description, and then, sorry, went blank there. Done a few videos today. And so make sure you go through the description and go through the content that I've laid out. There'll be other YouTube videos, even blog posts if necessary, my email, social media handles. And if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so. Click the bell notification icon so you don't miss any future videos I come out with. And one very last thing that I didn't really cover too much in here, but other startup type funding options you have out there are like PayPal, kind of mentioned it earlier. There are plenty of other ones out there that you can go through. I've done reviews on already. So make sure to refer to those down below in the description if you need more help and so forth. All right. Thank you. Bye.